to another episode with us. We are rushed this morning.
Exhausted.
Rushed. Keaton was making lasagna when I got here. Nothing was going the way it was supposed to. The dogs are outside running around. We gotta leave very soon.
We have like 20 minutes tops to record this podcast, but whatever. We're gonna get it done. We missed last week, and I hate when I feel like I'm behind. I hate when I feel like I'm missing things, when I'm like in a funk, which is honestly what today's podcast is, because we just kind of want to really give you guys an insight about what we've kind of been going through and why we've kind of had this like little stallment and just not only like our own, daily routines and stuff, but also everything else that kind of comes with it, because it kind of affects everything.
Yeah, those weeks that you get off on something, like maybe it's your workout routine or eating healthy or doing the things you love, and those weeks turn into like a month, and then maybe that turns into like more months.
And I really think that's how it goes for people. Like when I look at people that I know and that are close to me, and they maybe stop doing something for a little bit, and then eventually just kind of keeps compounding to the point where they've changed who they used to be, or their routine has changed so much that it's not really even a part of them anymore. Not that I feel like it's gotten that far for me, but it's definitely gotten where it's weeks have compounded on top of weeks, and it's been frustrating.
And for sure, this definitely does happen to a lot of you guys out there. Happens to us every now and then. So what do you do to come back from this? I think the biggest thing to do is you literally you pick a day, any day, today, whatever, and you make the smallest, tiniest step towards fixing it. So for me, my small, tiny little step towards fixing it was reading a book this morning, because that gets me back into my routine of, I wake up and I read. Remember, that's what I do. That's what, my morning routine. Kind of remind yourself.
I would say actually your first step that you took was last night doing a story, because sometimes just saying, I don't care though, it doesn't need to be perfect timing. I don't need to be, we're looking a certain way. I don't need to be at home. I can just do it right now. So Kayla did one on the way home in the car,
even though
which was not ideal. Okay, it wasn't ideal because the roads were shit last night, and we were going 25 miles an hour on the freeway. A semi was jackknifed, and Kayla's over there like.
Okay, first of all, I did this right before we left town. We did not come across the semi yet, and you were driving very slow. I didn't expect you to say anything. You just had bright light in your face, which is fine, because there's bright lights all over
which is fine.
The freeway.
Anyways, what you were saying though, by just picking a date and just doing it, whatever it is they want to do, just do it the day up. Do it the day they think, oh, I want to start doing it. Do it that day.
But it seems like a lot for me to get back on my workout routine and my eating healthy routine and my reading and my going to bed, all this stuff. So it was manageable for me to just pick a tiny little thing to do. And it's something that made me happy. So I'm not even going to look at it as getting back on my routine. I'm just looking at it as this makes me happy. I'm going to carve out that little bit of time for myself, and I'm going to do it.
When it comes to if have fallen off, or if I've been off my routine in a long time, whether that be weight training or that be, like Kayla said, eating more nutritiously, whatever it is. And currently right now is my routine. Sometimes the first thing I do is I take a step back and I look at the reasons that maybe I fell off. Was I pushing myself too much? Was I doing something that I honestly couldn't handle? It wasn't sustainable for me.
Did I not like what I was doing?
Yeah, I did not like what I was doing. And I try and do that because for the most part, when I'm doing things that I really enjoy, I am doing them for there's barely any times that I'm, I'm having such a big stall like I am right now. So honestly, I could pinpoint it a little bit and say, our grandpa passing away, whatever, was kind of a big part of it. It definitely put a block in my roadblock, but honestly, I felt like I was already declining before that, where I really wanted to take a look at it. And I think the first thing that I want to look at is, how I'm using my time in the morning, and making sure that I'm still enjoying it, because my walk started to be chores for me, like we talked about before, and I was really starting to just want to find ways to fit it in last minute, because I really didn't feel like doing it.
You know what I feel caused kind of our derailing right now is I think that life just got chaotic. We were doing a lot. We started doing even more fitness classes on top of the ones we're doing at our home school. We're now doing it at the school that we work at our other job. We're doing morning fitness classes there as well. We just have a lot going on, and I think when you have more things added to your plate, you can't work with the same routine exactly. You kind of need to take a step back and be like, okay, now how am I going to manage this? now how do I fit things in? Now how's this gonna work?
Like if my normal time was waking up between 4:30, but now I'm waking up at 4:30 and getting dressed to go into town to do a workout class, and instead I would have had that hour and a half time, almost 2 hours of time to myself to start getting ready for the day, whether that be my reading, my post, my breakfast, and now I'm just like, I didn't eat breakfast today, did you? And you're like, no, I didn't eat breakfast either.
Yeah, it was like,
oh my god,
like 2 weeks straight of us not eating breakfast, and we always
like it's terrible because breakfast is my favorite thing, and I never skip it. But now I'm at the point where it's like I'm just trying to get so much stuff done before I leave the house. I'm like going, I'm literally running through my house.
Yeah.
Like seriously, today.
I've seen her just running in the house. I'm like, it's like exercise without even, exercise.
This like feels like a break this morning from the
podcast.
Yeah, from cleaning the kitchen, picking up Riley's piss and shit in this house because she's naughty, to doing the lasagna, to bringing Riley out, to letting Chance out of the pan, to trying to fold clothes. Like, oh.
But for sure, honestly, I think what you were saying about like recognizing why you are falling off or what's going on is super important, so then you can identify like the root problem and how you're gonna fix that. For me, moving forward, I understand that like everything's really crazy with us. I'm kind of a little bit more pressed for time.
I almost need a new routine.
Yeah, like I was saying, yeah, like I need to figure out now how things are gonna fit in and when I'm gonna do that. And I think that drawing up a new routine and setting times and like kind of organizing it by my hours in my day is going to help me kind of get into my new schedule. Yeah.
Definitely. Alright, so guys, obviously our main point today was kind of sharing our struggles and what we've been going through really quick, but really, like trying to help you guys find it because we've all fallen off the wagon, and just like we said, like those are ways to identify. And I kind of wanted to touch on ways to keep going though with your routine, because everybody knows what it feels like to fall off, and everybody knows what it feels like to try and start something new, but I think a lot of people, along with ourselves, can struggle sometimes doing something consistently, and consistently I mean by more than a month.
Maybe it's like consistently, obviously at a certain point sometimes things get crazy, but how do you fix it before you completely fall off? Like how do you descale or kind of like scale back, before you hit that point? Because
we noticed that our workouts were starting to get shorter. We noticed that we were like bringing our books with to school. Like we kind of noticed our decline before it happened.
Yeah.
We definitely did. And I didn't do anything to change it.
What books to school?
I brought my reading book to school.
Oh. Yeah, I was doing that.
I was doing 10 pages. You were, yeah. I loved it in the morning because that's my time. It's like my relaxing time.
Yeah.
But I definitely felt myself. I was not drinking my water. Whatever. It all just started coming, and I didn't do anything to fix that. And then it just kind of fell apart, and then it stayed falling apart because it's almost easier to like not have that shoulder like on my shoulders right now and just focus on the other things on my shoulders than to try and like pull it back in some way.
I think what you need to do is the moment you add something new to your life that's going to start taking up more time, like your time away from you, that's the moment that you also reschedule everything.
I think, yeah, you definitely need to think of how that's going to fit in your routine. And I would say before you put this on your shoulders to say, okay, now I'm reading every single day, I think, give yourself a trial time. Try reading every single day for a week, and instead of saying, I have to, just see where it fits in. Where does it fit best? When do you find the most enjoyment doing it? Because instead of just saying in the morning or at night before bed, I need to read 10 pages, like, does that feel good to do that before bed? Are you just tired? Do you want to go to bed?
Or do you want to try like in the morning the next day?
Yeah, I just think we need to find it. Like we need to just kind of go and see how everything goes. You can't just shove something in and say, all right, I'm doing an hour workout every day. Does that fit in your schedule? Where does that fit in your schedule? Does it make you happy to do it? Are you rushed? Is it stressing you out? Really those things all kind of come down to how successful you are going to be at doing that consistently.
100%. Because honestly, if I'm not loving an hour workout, I'm going to see it as a chore. I'm not going to do it. I'll do it for like maybe a couple of days. I'll quit. If I'm not loving reading for 20 minutes, I'm not going to read for 20 minutes. I'll probably just stop reading altogether. So it really does need to be something that you're going to enjoy doing for that amount of time. It's going to, like, the thing needs to be, what you like to do. And then the time that you do it needs to really be able to coincide with your free time or your relaxing time. You're not going to enjoy reading a book if you're like 10 minutes before work, you're stressed, you have lots of things on your mind. You're not going to enjoy that. It's not going to be a de-stressing activity. It's just going to be something that you see as a chore you need to get done. So really trying to figure out when is the time for you to do those things is super amazing. And especially right now, we're going to like this holiday season. Things are so crazy.
It's just nuts. Like
I didn't understand that. I never did. We're little and people are like, it's crazy during the holiday season. I'm like, why?
I'm like, I have a Christmas break. I got time off from school. Like, I got time off from sports. Like,
I'm like,
it's
nothing's
relaxing
crazy
me.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah, but it really is like not only are your friends trying to get together and your family trying to get together and do things, and there's different events going on, and you have the snow, and you have, you know, like Christmas gift giving. It's on my mind is just like boggling back and forth.
Buy things, wrap things, go places, because yeah, so many things happen around Christmas, like Thanksgiving time, then you have like Christmas Eve, Christmas Day,
And
New
we
Year's.
did a small little kind of segment on coming to holidays, but we want to, like we talked about earlier, we're going to be giving you guys an episode that is fully dedicated to really how do you navigate the holidays, how do you stay on track, how do you, find some time to make peace for yourself and have that quiet, relaxing me time that seems like it's almost impossible to get sometimes.
And that episode is going to be next episode.
Yeah. So, for us anyways, we just wanted to kind of come on and say, like it is okay to have that time to fall off, but we need to figure out how we can start making that come back on. My walks had started to be really unenjoyable, and it's like Kayla said, we already kind of mentioned, our routine changed. It wasn't fitting in anymore where it was relaxing to me because I was running out the minute I got home trying to get in 45 minutes of walk and then running to the shed trying to do 45 minutes of working out. And that was just like, I felt exhausted and stressed. Like, am I going to get up my full 45 minutes in,
You just start to not even enjoy any part of it, which is also like a good indicator to kind of reevaluate and refocus things. Another huge thing I was going to say is like, with the holidays and all this chaotic time, I think that we start to get stressed easier because we have like a lot of things on our plate, a lot to do.
A lot of things to do.
Yeah. You know what you're talking, like your words. What is that? When you're dyslexic?
Let's keep going.
I don't know. Anyway, so my point is, it's hard to find the time for yourself, and I really believe in carving out a designated time for your relaxing every day, for like an hour. I would say like from 7 to 8. That's my time to either watch a movie or to do my face routine or to organize my bedroom if I feel like it, or to, like just do something that's going to be relaxing for myself, because I really need to start prioritizing myself, especially during crazy, chaotic times in the year.
That's it though, the word prioritizing. What are you prioritizing? If you're going to come up with how and what you're going to spend time on during your day, you need to realize or look at what are you prioritizing. So before I make a new routine, a morning routine, or before I decide to put things into my schedule, I look at my day and say, all right, today the non-negotiable that I have to do is I have to go to work. What else do I want to prioritize in my day? So 8 hours of my day, whatever, is blocked off. I can't do anything during that time besides what I'm doing. What else do I want to use my time for? And that's where my important things come in. Maybe that's the me time, Kale said. Maybe that's my training. Maybe that's my walk. Maybe that's my book. Maybe it's time to make supper. Like, those are things you need to realize that need to be prioritized in your day, so that at the end of the day you say, oh, I didn't get to my workout again.
Yeah.
I didn't get to my reading again. I really wanted to do it. Like, we need to prioritize and find a time so we can do it.
And I think it's kind of like that too, like with the time change and the sun setting sooner, I think that's kind of another moment in life where you start to rearrange your schedule, rearrange your life to fit your new needs. Because the sun does set earlier and it comes up a little bit earlier, but it's still not until like 7 o'clock,
That's what I need to remember for next year.
It's just like,
I need to remember that, okay, the time is starting to change, it's starting to get whatever, it's colder. I need to take a second and revamp how my day is going, because it is throwing me for a loop this fall. Like a huge one.
I think I did last year too.
Honestly,
I would have thought I would have learned for this year.
Then I literally finally got on it like mid-January, beginning of January. I'm like, all right, I got a new routine, I'm good to go. I'm back in the swing of things. Then fucking spring came. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah, you just need to be ready. Like, obviously we know the seasons are coming. Obviously we know that they change our moods, change like how we do things, how motivated we are. But it's, obviously we know it doesn't rely on motivation, but like what helps with motivation? A good set, clear routine and restyling things. Like sometimes, restyling, I like the word. Sometimes I just can't do the same things over and over again. I really need to change it because I'm bored, I feel annoyed, it's the same thing every day.
And that's where I think, like, just like how we all have a spring cleaning, a fall cleaning, whatever, I think that should be the same thing with your, day-to-day life. All right, a new, revamping how I go about my day today because it's the start of fall. Revamping, all right, spring's here, revamping my schedule right now again. Revamping, and I just think that one really help you get into feeling excited and refreshed, but also it'll help you stick to things and help you make sure that you're fitting the things that you want to fit in.
You know what I want? There's this alarm that does like the sunrise for you and stuff along with like a really nice like melody. I want to like do my circadian rhythm in the winter to like the sunrise like lamp that just gets slowly brighter over the course of like an hour.
Yeah.
Slowly brighter, 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 and then wakes you up and the lights in the room with like a music. I feel like that's exactly how I want to wake up. It's like $150. Maybe I can find one cheaper.
I've looked
but
at a
I'm
lot of
definitely
ones,
gonna
but
invest in it. I think. I can't remember. What it's
winter,
called.
I really think, it throws my sleeping and waking time off. Like, I once slept 10 hours, and I normally would sleep like 7 to 8, and I woke up and I felt so exhausted this fall, and I'm like, what the heck? Like, I should have been up like freaking 2 hours ago, and I still feel so tired. Like, and that was really it was so dark. The time still hadn't changed yet, but it was really, really dark in the morning, and it was getting dark at night. I'm like, whew.
Honestly, it's the worst. We have these trainings, in the morning at 5:30. I swear to God, I rock up to those looking like a mess, and I just feel so tired. My face looks tired. I feel like I'm like still rubbing my eyes constantly because I just don't really feel.
Yeah, Kayla came in and like I'm like, what are you doing?
Hey, you did not look any better.
Okay, her hair was a mess. Anyways, time out. You finish this thing up. I gotta go get ready because
Yeah, go.
Adios, you guys. Kayla's gonna,
Hey, how long are we going for this today?
20 minutes.
20 minutes, okay. Well, it doesn't matter. I don't need Caitlin. This should be a solo act anyways.
Solo act?
Yes, solo act.
Bullshit.
No one wants to hear Caitlin. Also, shut the camera off, please.
No, the camera's not done. You're not done.
Anyways, I want to get, I know what it's called. It's called Hatch. I think it's off Amazon too, but there's definitely got to be a cheaper one, and it doesn't do like regular music, I don't think. But I don't know, I could probably figure out some type of app on my phone. I just really like that it's like a hard alarm, kind of not on the phone. It's set, my phone's not by me, along with like the whole, getting rid of your electronics before you go to bed. My sleep schedule just needs to change, especially in winter time. Like I have no problem going to bed early. I still have a problem getting up earlier though, is my issue. And another big thing for me with this whole winter and the sun setting early and all that stuff is when all the snow comes and gets a lot colder, it's hard to want to get out of bed, not because you're really tired, but because it's just so freaking cold outside and cold in like your room. And obviously I sleep better with like cold air. I think that's actually a study. There's a study that says people do sleep better when their temperature in their room is a little bit slightly colder. And definitely true. I sleep like a rock. I get the best sleep when it's cold. But it's not the best waking up to in the morning, like a cold room. The last thing you want to do is like get out of bed and run around and put on workout clothes or any type of clothes at all, like anything warm because you're already
Any
freezing.
type of clothes.
Yeah. Are you listening?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they can't hear you.
The last thing I want to do is put on any type of clothes. That's good.
But it's just cold, so keeping my room a little bit warmer sometimes does help. It's just harder for me to sleep, but I think that alarm clock would definitely make a huge difference. I think there was something else that I really wanted to talk about today on the podcast. Oh my gosh, yeah. The other thing is like with the weeks that turn into months of being off like your workout routine, the same thing has been happening with my eating lately. Like the amount of gushers I've consumed within the past 2 weeks is a lot. It's a lot of sugar. And I think it's also like when you get on this little binge of like sugar, your body just starts to crave it more and more and more. And when you're eating like whole foods and you're nourishing your body the way you should, like I just don't usually have a huge craving to eat any of that. But when I'm off everything, I have this really bad habit with just saying fuck it to everything, going off the rails, kind of going off the deep end, getting like